hello, and thank you so much for watching today's video. I am coming to you live on a very gloomy day because here in Florida we are under a tropical storm warning. So it's very overcast outside and this is the best lighting that I have to work with, so please forgive that. But I have another Monte-Spired video for you today, and if you're not sure what Monte-Spired is, I will have the intro video as well as the full playlist linked below and up in the eye. So if you want to give those videos a watch, please feel free to do so. But for now, we're going to be talking all about treasure baskets. I'm just going to explain what treasure baskets are, what their purpose is, and some specific examples of baskets that you can put together at home for your little ones. As with all of my videos, I will have timestamps listed below, so if you want to skip around the video, feel free to just watch what you want to watch. And if you like this sort of content, I really hope you'll consider subscribing. I would love to have you here on my channel. Let's go ahead and start with what treasure baskets are, and honestly, it's pretty quite simple. It is just a collection of common objects that are similar to one another that you rotate every so often. If you have a baby, I am sure that you have noticed that they would much rather play with random objects around your house rather than the toys you specifically buy for them. I know when my son was a baby, his favorite thing to play with was a plastic water bottle. And for my daughter, she would rather play with the TV remote rather than all of these lovely toys over here that we have available for her. 9 out of 10 times, babies are just gonna wanna play with something random that they find around the house rather than the toys that you spend all this money on that are geared towards that age group. So treasure baskets are a really fun and unique way to kind of take advantage of that fact. You really don't need to go out and buy anything specific. You can just use the things around your house. So the best age to kind of start introducing treasure baskets is right around the 6-month mark, when they're able to kind of sit up unassisted without much support. And you can keep introducing treasure baskets, I'd say up until about 18 months. That's when they're gonna probably start losing interest because it is a simple activity. During the first few years of their life, their brains really are little sponges, and they are just absorbing every little bit of knowledge that's at their fingertips. They're really just starting to figure out what the most basic things are. And so there's a lot of benefits associated with treasure baskets. It's gonna help their brain development, it's gonna help them work on their fine motor skills, it's gonna help them with hand-eye coordination, and it's really gonna help develop those early language skills that are needed to actually form words later on as they get older. So when you're building the foundation for that early language work, as they're going through their treasure basket and holding up an object, you can actually sit with them and point to the object and describe it to them. I see you're holding a purple spiky ball. I know it might feel silly to just sit there with your baby and say things like that. I know I felt silly holding it up right then and doing that. But like I said, their brains are sponges and they really benefit from you sitting there and just speaking and talking and describing things. They are just receiving all of this information, and soon enough, before you know it, they're going to be giving that information back to you, and they're going to sit there and point and say, "Mom, you're holding a purple spiky ball." Treasure baskets are also going to promote sensorial learning, which I know is really big in the Montessori community. These objects are going to have different textures, different weights, they're going to make different sounds, they're going to be different shapes from one another. Babies really just love to explore and learn by manipulating objects in their hands, mouthing them, touching them, and really just getting all the information they can from that one object using all 5 of their senses. And I apologize if you hear any little screeches in the background. My daughter just woke up from a nap and she's in there just chilling in her crib, happy, babbling to herself. So if you hear that in the background, that is why. But you know, that's stay-at-home mom life. I'm just trying to do something. I really hope you can hear that when I watch this back. I hope you can hear it. Treasure baskets can also help set the stage for independent play, which means you might get a minute to yourself every once in a while. But having them sit with a basket of objects is gonna allow them to explore their freedom within limits, so you can kind of step away for a minute, let them be engaged independently without interruption. So when you're putting together a basket, you wanna group similar objects, and we'll get into some specific examples here in a second. But the reason you want to do this, grouping similar objects, is gonna help your baby make associations and connections between similar objects and realize that this thing goes with this thing, and this thing is the same as this thing, or this thing is bigger than this thing. They're gonna understand the similarities as well as the differences of the objects that you're presenting to them. And again, this age, their brains are sponges. They're really just learning the most basic of information. And so treasure baskets are going to help them just build those foundation blocks. So let's talk about the fun part, which is actually putting together a treasure basket. First thing you're gonna need is a basket. So I personally use this one, and it came in one of our lovevery boxes. But there's also some different options on Amazon. I got this pack of 3. There's a couple of things in this one. It also came with the smaller size. So they have different options on Amazon that you can go ahead and look into if you want. I'll link a couple options below. With Montessori, they really emphasize the use of natural materials. So, you know, this is like a woven basket made out of like a rope material. I know some families probably use like a wicker basket, and all of those options are great, but they can also be pricey. And we are not strictly Montessori here on my channel or in my home. We are Monte-Spired. I say do what works for you. If you need to use a plastic bin as your treasure basket, just because it's not made out of a natural material doesn't mean the benefits are going to be any less for your child. And there's even options at the Dollar Tree. You can go to your local Dollar Tree if you have one in your town. They have all sorts of little bins and storage baskets and stuff that you can utilize at your house. Some of them are made out of like metal or plastic. They're all different shapes and sizes, so find one that works for you. Don't worry about the material that it's made from, as long as it's not like toxic to your baby or something. For the actual objects in the treasure basket, I would stick to about 5 to 10 objects depending on your child's age and the size of the objects. I'd say for younger babies, definitely stick with closer to 5 or 6 so they're not overwhelmed by the amount of things that they're presented with. But if you're dealing with smaller objects, then you might want to go ahead and aim closer to 10 so it's not underwhelming. You kind of want to find that sweet spot for your baby's age and temperament. The goal is really just to present something that they are going to be engaged with. So like I mentioned before, you want to group together and categorize like items. So think round things, square things, fuzzy things, things that are shiny, things that jingle, different fabrics, things that are the same color, things that are from outside, different kitchen items, all sorts of balls, which is our current treasure basket right now. I'm actually about to rotate this one out and do a little YouTube short here on all items that I got from the Dollar Tree, so I'll link that below if you're interested, but it's actually all different types of brushes. So for square things, you can add a variety of different types of blocks. I'm sure you already have blocks in your home. That's kind of like a staple. So just add, 5 or 6, and maybe you have different sets. So go ahead and add some smaller blocks, some bigger blocks. For example, we have a block puzzle here, so I might even take a couple of these so there's different kind of like colors and pictures to look at. It just kind of gives them a variety for them to pick up and inspect and look at all the details on them. All of these are the same shape, but they have differences between them. So again, when she's looking through that basket, she's making those different connections on how they're similar and how they're different. For kitchen items, think whisks, basting brush, spoons, spatulas, all different types of shapes and sizes. And think about the same exact object but in different sizes. So I have a couple of different whisks, and they're different material, different color, different sizes. And as they get older, closer to that 12 to 18 month mark, you might want to do some animal figurines, and you can start naming the different animals, describe again what they look like to help build that early language development. As they get a little older, you can even ask them, which one is the cow, which one is the pig, and they might start to be able to point to that animal. But again, that's something where I would start with like 3 to 5 so they're not overwhelmed. I would really just encourage you to take a look around your home. You will come up with so many different ideas. You'll get inspired. Just get creative and have fun with it. Your baby is going to love it. It's just a fun activity, and don't overthink it. As for rotation, that's really just going to depend on your baby. It'll vary on what is interesting to them at that time. So when they seem like they're not really gravitating towards the treasure basket, they're not paying it any attention, maybe you're offering it to them and they're just kind of nope, and they're going about their business, it would definitely be the time to switch it out for a different variety of objects. I know for my daughter, she usually gets bored of it, probably around 7 to 10 days. That's when she's kind of ready to move on to the next thing. And then, again, it's not like I present this and then after a week she's tired of it and I never bring it back out. This has been in rotation since she was 6 months, and she's currently about to be 1 year. So this has made an appearance very many times, and every time you bring it back out after like a month or 2, they're all excited over it again like they've never seen it before. And there's also times where they're not tired of it after a week or so. I know that this ball basket has been out for about a month straight, and she's now just getting tired of it, which is why I'm switching it out for something new tomorrow. So really just observe them and what they're gravitating towards. The whole thing with Montessori is to follow the child. The last quick thing I want to touch on is safety. Obviously, you don't leave your child unattended with objects they've never seen before. If it's something that's small, because again, they're going to be putting it in their mouth, you really just want to kind of sit around, observe them, let them explore, but keep them safe while doing so. I'm sure that goes without saying, but still I'm gonna say it anyways. Okay, well there you have it. That is a video all about treasure baskets. We really do love them in my family. It's something fun. Even my 4-year-old will get involved. He loves helping me put them together for my daughter. He loves going through them with her and like naming the different objects and showing her how to play with them. It's really cute to witness and it keeps him busy. All right, Miss Mona decided she wanted to say goodbye as well. So I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here on my channel. But for now, I will just say thank you so much for watching today's video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!